Listen, so now when it comes to Lilith inside of the birth chart, what you have to understand is that wherever Lilith is placed inside your birth chart, the story and lore of what Lilith went through symbolically is going to play out in a certain symbolical way inside of your actual life. What do I mean by that? So now Lilith's story is all about what? She wanted to be seen a certain way, and Adam and God didn't really care to see her in that type of way, right? So they kind of outcasted her. So basically Lilith is about like independence. It's also about like rebellion, because she tried to do something that they said that she couldn't do. She was like, nah, y'all got me messed up. I'm not finna just sit here and bow down. Like, if he can do this, why can that's what Lilith energy really is, right? But now Lilith energy does not like powerlessness, right? If you feel like somebody's treating you like in a powerless way, you might overreact and click out and spaz on them people. Lilith can really do that, right? So wherever Lilith is inside the birth chart, this can actually show up inside of your persona and your actual life, right? In specific moments, maybe not all the time, but yes, it can. A lot of people like to focus on like the sexual nature of Lilith. I'm gonna make a video about that. But today, let's talk about like some stuff that I feel like you all really need to know and understand. So now when it comes to like let's say for instance, if you got Lilith and Aries, right? I'm gonna give you a prime example. Having Lilith inside of Aries would make somebody feel like, okay, if you, so what does Aries energy rule over? It's a very powerful sign. It's a very, you know what, I'm finna get up, I'm finna fight. You got me messed up, you got me messed up. I don't want to hear that. Y'all better stop playing with me. It's one of those type of zodiac signs, right? But the thing about it is that Aries is already fiery, is already, you know what I'm talking about, pro action, pro putting hands on you if they need to. I'm gonna stay out of that. But no, we're gonna bring it up. We're gonna bring it up. And it's also about individuality. Like, listen, I am who I am, right? So Lilith inside of Aries can consistently, if it feels challenged, it can consistently assert its own self-independence. Like, no, I'm me. I'm not listening to you. I don't care what you talking about. This is me. This is who I am. This is my life, right? Because remember, Lilith still carries that rebelliousness energy inside of what she represents. So when you put that in Aries, Aries is independence, Lilith is rebellion, and it's also feeling powerlessness, right? So people with Lilith and Aries could probably, like, you know what I'm talking about, like struggle to accumulate a lot of power. And when they do, they could probably like fuck around and abuse it, you know, if they don't know how to really like operate and channel that shit correctly, right? They can be like, you know what? Anybody who think I'm weak, anybody who's trying me, anybody who's playing with me, you are going to actually get it. I'm not finna spare nobody, right? Lilith and Aries can be very harsh like that. It can feel like it's always like a person ready to explode. Like you can feel that vibe from them, right? Because you got to remember, it's the physical body. It's their Martian Mars energy. Lilith is now becoming a warrior and a fighter. So imagine Lilith and Aries. Imagine this freaky ass Lilith woman having on a goddamn shield and a goddamn sword and a gun in her pocket. Or with a gun on her waist. Yeah, that's Lilith and Aries. She like, come, if you want some, come and get some. So you got to remember, so now Lilith and Aries people can also try to overcompensate for their weakness, right? They could probably lash out unnecessarily. They could probably like do all sorts of things to make them seem more stronger and more tougher, kind of like peacocking to prevent people from trying to come try them. But that don't mean that they weak, because that Lilith energy, it'll really make them feel like, okay, I have to prove my point. You are not finna say that, you are not finna like, you are not finna disrespect me. You're not finna reject what I am, what I stand for. Yeah, and they might click the hell out on you, right? Yeah, for real. Let's say, for instance, it's Lilith inside of Aquarius. Lilith inside of Aquarius. Listen, you are not about to like tell these people how they can express themselves. Damn, they're similar to Aries a little bit, but the thing about it is that since Lilith is in Aquarius, they can turn this shit into like a movement, right? Because remember, Aquarius rules over what? Like humanity, large network circles and things of that nature. So the Lilith inside of Aquarius, they're gonna be like, no, you got me messed up just as much you got Lilith and Aries messed up. Yeah, you got me messed up the same exact way. But unlike them, I'm finna make sure the world know, listen, there are people out here trying to stop us from progressing the way we want to progress. I think everybody needs to know this shit. Yeah, listen, they gonna get on boy, they gonna get on your nerves, boy. I'm telling you, Lilith and Aquarius, they'll get on your damn nerves, right? Because the Lilith energy is so like, okay, so put it like this. If you keep telling Aquarius, because Aquarius is all about what? Being individual, but well, it is about being individual, but it's about being like unique, being like unorthodox, being like outside of the box. So with Lilith there, if you try to like disrespect like their uniqueness and their different ways of thinking, different ways of feeling and behaving, a lot of times, yeah, they could look at that like you trying to look down on them and say like, okay, what you doing just ain't good enough for my standards. And next thing you know, boom, they'll start a whole damn activist movement on your ass if we're playing with people with Lilith inside of Aquarius. Real talk, right? So you got to understand. Another thing too is that like normal traditional institutions where Lilith and Aquarius too, they can become very rebellious. Like these people come in and like want to mess up the actual status quo. They're like, nah, it's too much weird shit going on in here. I'm finna put a stop to it. Yeah, Lilith inside Aquarius, yeah, they can definitely listen. They can come tear down systems, tear down your system and start their own new system. Now, if they got a very bad Saturn or a damaged Aquarius or a damaged Saturn, yeah, they can come in and make shit worse too. Lilith ain't always good, right? Because it can be like a blade without a sheath. Oh, without a sheath. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, you don't want that. Let's say, for instance, you got Lilith inside of, I'm trying to think, what's another placement? Lilith inside of Pisces. Do not play with them when it comes to their imagination, their fantasy. They will mess your ass up. Why do I say that? Because you got to remember, Pisces is what? Fantasy, spirituality. That more internalized component, right? The deepest aspect of the internalized component. And the Pisces is also an energy that represents the subconscious, right? So you got to remember, people with Lilith inside of Pisces, if they don't have no stronger fourth house, no stronger moon, or no like strong Saturn placements, yeah, they can like to be in a la fantasy world, right? And if you try to get them out of there, if you try to ostracize them about that rebellion, they are going to rebel. They're going to be like, who in the hell, like, you trying to get me out of what make me feel good? This make me feel good. I like thinking like this. I like escaping from the world. I like, but Lilith inside of Pisces too, be careful with drugs and be careful with liquor and alcohol too, right? Because they can mess around and get addicted to like substance abuse. You tell them, hey, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that. They mess around and do more of it, right? Like I said, other factors in the birth chart can combat these things. Yes, they can combat these things, but Lilith, yeah, she not finna play. Yo, Lilith in Pisces is not finna play, especially about like their isolation, their alone time. They like, I really need to recharge. I just can't be around people 24/7. Now, like I said, this will all be countered by other placements that actually give it a real counter. You understand what I'm saying? And that's like, okay, let's say for instance, Saturn is aspecting this, and guess what? It's not going to be as harsh as what I'm saying. You're going to be like, nah, Rex, that ain't happening at all. Yeah, because you have other aspects to this. So hell nah, it's not going to be like that. But from a more just layman's general term, general perspective, it's definitely going to be like that. Yeah, it's definitely going to be like that. Yeah, so what you all have to understand is that Lilith can be very, very empowering, or Lilith can be very, very dangerous, right? And everybody has it. Man and women, we all have a Lilith inside of our birth chart, right? The black moon Lilith. It can be good, and it can be good, or it can be terrible, right? That depends on how you use it, right? Because the thing about it is to get aware of what's going on, right? So if you know you got bad traits in a certain aspect of life, guess what? Okay, work on that shit. You need to learn how to get it better. You need to learn how to be like, you know what? Time to put my foot down and get my life together, right? I'm messing up in this area, this area, this area, and it is because of me. Okay, well, now it's time for me to actually change this. A lot of people don't want to do that. So a lot of people just want to hear astrology for like the fluffy, soft, nice parts. No. Lilith inside of the birth chart, wherever it's at, you can be a rebel, right? You can be a rebel. But the thing about it is, if you're going to be a rebel for a decent, positive cause, right? Use that transformative Lilith energy to knock down outdated systems that hinder and mess over people, right? And build up new moral systems that make everybody feel appreciated, loved, and welcome. But yeah, but like I said, if y'all want y'all birth chart reading, listen, please come and holler at me. Go follow me on Instagram, TikTok, especially Facebook. I be on there daily. I'm posting stuff. So listen, I got 220 birth chart reviews, right? Over the past damn near 4 or 5 years. Just come holler at me. Everything's in a link in the description below.